Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about KPI cards. In particular, I'm going to be showing you how to take the design that I put together here that you see on the screen and implement it in your own Power BI report completely for free. So let's jump in. Okay, so first things first, this file is going to be available in the video description on my GitHub. If you go there, you can go ahead and download it. Second, if you like free resources like this, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated. All right, so in order to implement this, we're going to need 3 fact measures. So we're going to need 2 for the bottom KPIs. So currently here I'm using prior year versus prior year number and versus prior year percent. 1 fact measure for the main graph, right? And then if you're going to be doing a line graph, you're going to need 1 dimension measure to use in the graph. So in this case, this is the month for current year sales, as you can see going through. You're also going to need 2 UI measures. So you're going to need the SVG image measure and then an accent color measure that essentially changes depending on what you have selected. You got all that? All right, well, if you didn't, don't worry. I'm going to be showing you how to implement that card in a report that doesn't currently have a KPI card, very similar to how you would if you were building your own report. So let's get started. Okay, here is my shell report. This is actually a report from another video that I used on how to make a bar graph with a little emoji. And as you can see, it's a very nice report, but we have some blank space over here for this KPI card. So the first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to create some UI measures. One thing you might notice is that I already actually kind of have a theme here. I've got a little yellow and then a bright green. So I'm going to use those colors for my accent color. I also currently have a total sales current year, a total sales prior year, and then a total sales better or worse percent. So I have my 3 fact measures too. So all I need to do is I need to go ahead and I'm going to set up first my accent color. Okay, and here my accent color is going to be using the total sales better or worse. So I'm going to go if total sales better or worse greater than 0, I'll return my good color, and if not, I'll return my bad color. And I'm going to go grab those color hex codes from my fill color measure over here. So my max category is going to be this nice green. And right here, I'm going to go over here, put that in. And then my other color is going to be that yellowish number. So I'm going to select that one and go right here. Okay, and I'll move this into my UI measure. Okay, so there we go. We moved into my UI measure. The next thing that I'm going to go ahead and grab is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab those SVG arrows. So I'm going to create a new measure here, and I'm going to title it arrows. Okay, and I'm going to just go in back into my file and grab those SVGs. SVGs can kind of be a little bit of a pain to deal with from time to time, but they always add a ton of fun UI components. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to title this arrow. Okay. And as you can see, I have my same binary values, total sales better or worse, referencing accent color measure here. So this is actually already set up and ready to work, I believe. So now I'm going to take my KPI card and I'm simply just going to copy and paste it into my report. And so I'm going to go Control C here, my other report here, and I'm going to go Control V. And look, it's already actually picked up on the arrows and the accent color, which is pretty cool. And that's because we used the same measure names as I was using in the other file. But as you notice, there's some things that need to be adjusted. So we lost our secondary measure. This title looks a little weird, mainly because my number percent was better or worse in the other file. And then the sizing also needs to be adjusted. Now, these are things that you're likely going to need to be able to or have to fix when you go to implement this in your own file. So I'm going to walk you through how to fix these. First things first, I'm going to make this KPI card fit within the space. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to take this graph, right? And this graph is actually working. If you notice, it's just month and then total sales. So I already had those columns, but I'm going to move the graph over here as well. Now, if you notice, this is cut off right here. So I'm going to select the card visual. I'm going to go into formatting. I didn't actually select the card visual. I'm going to select the card visual. I'm going to search for call out in here. I'm going to go into call out values, and then I'm going to go into layout, and I can adjust it so the text is no longer cut off by using this call out size to essentially bring this down so it's all in view. So there's that. And as you can notice now, I need to shrink the graph a little bit. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Shrink the graph. And, oh, that's too small. But there you go. See, so that's looking a lot better already. And let's line this up. Okay, now we need to fix our callout values. So I'm going to go back into this, select the card visual again, and I'm going to go into reference labels. So in the reference label, if you notice, it's finding my total sales better or worse here. It's not finding my total sales better or worse percentage, which is why we're getting this little alert icon right here. In fact, I want to replace that with total sales prior year. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this over. As you can see, I now have my total sales prior year popping up. I'm going to reorganize this because I think it makes more sense to have this like that. And then I'm going to fix my label here, my versus prior year number, by hitting this little drop down, going total sales better or worse. And I'm going to adjust this total sales prior year percent. Okay. And just like that, this is looking much better. One of the things that is bothering me a little bit is that my accent colors are not quite as dark as I would want them to. So I'm going to go back into my accent color measure, and I'm going to take these two hex codes and I'm going to adjust them so they're slightly darker colors. You can do this by typically Googling like hue hex color selector on like Bing or something, right? And if you go and you open up the website, you can put in a hex code. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in my hex code right here, right? And then I'm going to just make it darker. Okay, so that's it. Here we have a KPI card implemented from my file into a new file. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something, please do consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about me, feel free to check out my LinkedIn and give me a follow there. Thank you for watching.